Hello everyone, it's the Canadian Futures Trader here. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the video.
Gotta get more followers.
Alright everybody, it is Monday, May the 16th. It is 9 a.m. Eastern and the US Treasury market has been open for 40 minutes. Equities market opens in 30. I thought, what better time to do another hour-long recording showing some trading, hopefully, and chit-chatting with you guys. If you're not familiar, I did one of these videos like 2 weeks ago. My intention is to do them every week. Yes, I didn't make one last week. Good intentions, but doesn't always happen, but I'm going to try my best. So, it's kind of the same idea as live streaming, except it's not. I'm recording it, and part of why I do that is I get pretty easily distracted by the chat. I like to interact with everyone, you guys, answer your questions, all that, but that pretty much leads to no trading. So, I do hope to do some live stream trading as well. I don't want to make any promises. I feel like I do that a lot, and then I end up not doing it. But I put it on my schedule to live stream one day later this week, so I'll see if that happens. So if this is, by chance, one of the first videos of mine you're seeing, or the first video, I go by Canadian Futures Trader. I trade the US Treasury bonds. I will quickly explain my screen and what you're looking at. I don't want to do it every time I record a video, just because I know it'll get repetitive for people who do watch them. Software I use is called Jigsaw Day Trader. It is a depth of market platform. It does some other things, but what you're looking at is kind of the primary function. I am an order flow scalper, I would say. A lot of times people ask, where's the chart? I want to see a chart. Do you look at a chart? No, no, and no. I do connect through NinjaTrader, so I could bring up a chart. And occasionally I'll bring one up just to show stuff. Actually, here, let's just do that right now. Just a second. But I don't trade using the charts. That's the point here. Let me just drag it over. So, and here, I'll just fill up this window so it's not distracting. So here's a chart, the Ultra Bond, the June contract. So if you want to look at a chart, here's a chart, NinjaTrader. I do not trade using the charts. If you ask why, it's because I'm an order flow scalper. It much more appeals to me. I'm not into using the different indicators and whatnot. But that said, sometimes it's good to take a quick look at the chart and just see where things have been and what's kind of going on relative, especially when, I literally just started this up and started recording. So, I don't have any context of where we're at in the market and what's happened so far this morning. Part of trading the treasuries, a lot of it is context, like what has happened up to this point to then help you make decisions whether you should, take a trade or not. So usually, there's a good chance you won't see many trades, or there'll be at least one trade in this video. Let me put it that way. If I'm putting up the video on my YouTube channel, there's at least one trade for those of you who like to see at least a trade. I will timestamp them down below for the trade and or trades that I take. Just in case that's all you want to see, you can skip ahead to those. That's totally fine. Otherwise, if you want to stick around, listen to me, wax poetic about trading and trading the treasuries and DOMs and trader valuations and whatever else, wherever we go in this next hour. It's kind of like a free-form jazz session of sorts. So anyways, there's your chart. I'm going to minimize this because, like I said, I don't trade it. But if I was to take away anything from this, we kind of, let's see, the market opens at 820, which is about here. So I had a little rally, kind of came down, went back up, and then now it's coming down. There's the extent of my chart analysis. I don't need much else than that, because let's look at the depth of market. So explaining Jigsaw real quick, and of course skip ahead a few minutes if you've already heard this before and you don't care. So I trade the US Treasury bonds, specifically the Ultra Bond, which is UB, which is right here on this depth of market. You can see it here. This ticker tape, it relates to this depth of market. This is the 10-year Treasury on the left. It's ZN, and this is its ticker tape. And then off to the right, which is off the screen, I do have the 30-year ZB. I don't show it mainly to make the video a little less cluttered. There's just sometimes people's complaint is there's so much going on. There's so many numbers. How do you follow? I can explain that shortly as well. But just to keep it a little cleaner, I just keep that one off the screen. And really, I'm mainly trading using these two products. So, um, obviously, the quick rundown on the columns is here's the price, and I'm just going to do this for Ultra Bond. The same intel applies for over on the 10 years. Uh, Price is in gray here. If it's white, that means there's been contracts traded at that price. If it's kind of blacked out, there's not been. You can also tell that by here, which is basically essentially a volume profile. This is how many contracts traded at each price. So you get this nice histogram. The pink or fuchsia is where the most contracts traded. I mean, you can look at the number and see that, but it's just a visual cue. And then the orange is the VWAP. I don't use that. It's just kind of on in in the day trader. So I'm not using this, for making trading decisions. Although it is good to see where most of the activity is taking place. Inside green column, inside purple column are what you would see on a typical depth of market, like a normal depth of market that you might see in like Trade of 8 or Ninja Trader. If you just brought up the basic one, would be price. Limit orders on the bid and the ask. So that would be my inside green and my inside purple. Outside green, outside purple are changes to the bid and ask. Just for me, it's one thing that Jigsaw does. It breaks information out in lots of different ways. So I have this kind of customized to how I like it. It is showing orders being added and pulled to the bid and ask. So right now it's moving kind of like, I wouldn't say completely frantically, but there's a little bit of stuff happening here. This stuff helps a little bit more on the deeper products where there's a lot of contracts. Like here, for example, you can see the buyers are all negative numbers. They're starting to pull orders, whereas the sellers are piling on. So a little bit of information to maybe use for some trades. Inside, kind of blackish column or dark blue, these are actual contracts traded at this price. So while these are limit orders, these are the actual contracts which have traded. This does clear out, so if the price wants to move, down and then back up, it'll only show like the new ones that have traded at that price. Just gives you a sense. Sometimes like you'll see it just rip one direction and all you'll see is say sell, sell, sell and just a pile on. It gives you a good sense of if buyers are fighting back or if they're not, if the price is moving down. And that more or less sums this up. Ticker tape is just kind of a visual cue. Honestly, I'm not using it for making any trading decisions. I have mine filtered for any lots that are only 1 or 2. It doesn't show. Just gets rid of some of the noise. Same thing on the 10 years. I have it filtered for anything over 20, I think. So 20 would be the lowest you'll see, and that holds true here. Again, just to filter out the 1 lot, 2 lots, because you could have a flurry of 1 lot traders come in and do something, and it would look like, oh, wow, there's lots of buying happening, but it's not a lot of contracts. Whereas with this filtered a bit, it helps a bit, but again, I'm not really even using it for trading decisions. If anything, it just looks cool. So that explains my screen, guys. Obviously, no trades yet. We're just going to sit and wait. The unfortunate part of this, or part of maybe why I want to do these videos, is to show that trading the treasuries is not exciting. Guys, it is not jumping in. I mean, you can trade however you want. So everything I say is related to how I trade. I'm not jumping in and out of trades. I'm not chasing trades. I'm not an action, trader. I take anywhere from 0 trades a day to 5 is kind of the range. Sure, there's days where maybe it's good. I take 7 trades, but on average, somewhere between 0 and 5. I personally only trade the morning session, U.S. morning session. So I start at about 8. U.S. Treasury market opens at 8:20. This is Eastern. And then by noon, I usually call it quits. Things start to slow down anyway, the lunch hour. I have other things to do with my time in the afternoon. Is there activity in the afternoon? Sure. I mean, sure, you could certainly trade in the afternoon, but I think I just realized a long time ago that I would rather focus on the morning and use my time a bit more wisely in the afternoon. I have other things to do. Also, just looking at my stats is something I harp on quite a bit, is tracking your stats. I use Journalytics is also a Jigsaw product, but there's plenty out there. I used to use TraderView. So I could look at my stats and see when was I most profitable, what products was I most profitable with, my win-loss ratio, MAE, MFE, all that fun stuff. So while I know quite a few people like to trade day and night, and that's totally fine, and I used to be that way too, but I found that trading was just kind of consuming my life, and there was a better way to go about it. In my opinion, all in my opinion. You guys do whatever you want. Guys, while I'm rambling, don't worry. I am watching. I'm waiting to see if we can pounce on a trade here. So on my site here, while we wait, because I don't think anything's going to transpire soon, unless the sellers keep pounding this down, maybe we get like a break low or something. But for now, I'm not seeing anything too exciting. And it's possible, and we might miss it if we're looking at something, but them's the breaks. There's always another trade. Hang on, let me fit this to the window here. On my site, what was I going to say? The free futures course. So I put up a free futures course in December, which has a lot of stuff for, I talk about context. Context is my favorite word when it comes to trading. But anyways, different software I use, blah, 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 spoofing, journaling. But page 4 is probably the one that people are most interested in, trading the treasuries. So if you want to see specific trade setups and see them demonstrate it, come here. I mean, these videos are on my YouTube page as well, and there is a playlist. But I have them linked here, and I explain and kind of write out what it is that I'm looking for. There's only seriously about 5 or 6 trade setups that I look for, so a good place to learn exactly what I look for. And then occasionally somebody comes along and they say something like, hey, CFT, have you ever thought about, I don't know, whatever, using the moving average? No, I don't use indicators. Trade order flow in the treasuries. I do quite well at it, if I was to toot my own horn. Let's see, let's minimize this. See, now, yeah, it's still just kind of hanging out here. When the flurry of activity, let me check the time, it's 9:10. So the treasury market, when it opens at 8:20, you tend to get, a little bit of activity. We're obviously seeing some activity now, but when the US equities open, that's usually a good time when there'll be more activity happen here as well. So we might have to just kind of hang out for 20 minutes and see what happens. But nonetheless, guys, so while we wait, let's bring this up. What was I going to say? On the homepage, so Apex this morning, we got lots to cover today. There's a lot going on. I was just thinking last week, I was like, there's been nothing happening. Like, there's been no big deals. There's been no sales, no flash sales, no big announcements, nothing. And out of the blue, Apex runs an 8% off sale over the weekend. Then just this morning, they announced they're extending it till Thursday, 6 p.m. So you can still get it in on that can 80 if you missed out. I remember seeing at least one person, I think in Discord, say, they weren't able to get in on it because whatever reason, they weren't getting paid till Monday or something like that. Well, now someone like that can get in. When I mentioned Discord, I mean the Earn to Trade Discord. That's where I typically am. I'm not on there all day. It's one of those things too where I used to spend like all day on there. Now I just kind of pop in and out. I take a quick scan, see if anybody has a question for me or talking treasuries or whatever, something interesting going on. But I don't sit around and watch it as much as I used to. But nonetheless, Earn to Trade Discord. Is where that is. I can put a link down below in the video description to that. The other announcement, I knew there was one other. LeeLoo. Let me bring up the LeeLoo site here. It's their birthday blast week, so they're doing different promos all week. It's not really scrolling down. Anyways, whatever on this. So every day it sounds like they're going to have different promos. So today on Monday, I have it just up here on the top, and actually I have it on the deals page, but they're doing 50% off the 100K LeeLoo Express. Use the code Happy Monday. There's links down. There's always links down below to all this stuff in the videos. LeeLoo Express is what I passed back over a year ago. It was like April 2021. It's 14 days, but it's 14 days including the weekend, so it's really 10 trading days. And this one's a little bit different because you have to pass in 10 days. That's what makes it the Express. So in general, it's a little bit cheaper than, say, here, let's get rid of this thing. The normal 100K over here on the right would be 220 at normal prices. I know there's always deals. There's only 77, but you have to pass in 10 days, whereas this 10 trading days, whereas this you can take your time if you want. That's the catch. But anyways, they're running a discount on this. Use Happy Monday and you get it for half price. So not too bad. And then I'll be curious to see what else they announce this coming week. Actually, I take that back. They already announced one of the deals they're having. I put it on here on Wednesday, so it's not yet active. I always do this. I add a deal and I'll say, this doesn't start till Wednesday, and then I get emails from people saying, I tried your code and it doesn't work because it doesn't start till Wednesday, May 18th until Friday. They are doing the 100K, so the other 100K, we'll look at in a second, for $40. So actually even cheaper than, so you can do this one for $36 or whatever it is, $38.50. Today only, this one, which you can take as long as you want, for $40 starting on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure the $40 will just be the first month. That's usually how it goes. That's usually how it goes when they run like a super deep discount. It's just for the first month. So I'm gonna assume that is that. But that starts on Wednesday, and that's happy birthday. I'm sure they put out videos of their own as well. Speaking of, there's something else. Good grief, I knew there was more. On my YouTube channel, guys, it is early. LeeLoo Express. I'm doing a LeeLoo Express giveaway. I am running it for 2 days. Rather, I used to run giveaways for like a week and stuff. The thing is, everybody enters like in the first few days, and then I'm just waiting around to draw the winner. So I'm going to draw a winner on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. All you have to do, you see the little goblin here. Let me bring it up. I won't make you watch the video here. Let's see here. Where's the description? So watch the video. Oh, well, you can watch the video or you can just do this stuff. Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to LeeLoo's YouTube channel, and comment on this video as to why, what you love about LeeLoo. So a ton of people already have. Keep at it. I will mention, if you comment and you don't see your comment, a lot of them end up going to, I'm just going to put this down, to spam. I have like pretty strict spam filters on my YouTube channel just because I do get like a ton of spam. People like promoting crypto scams or trading scams or pretending to be me or whatever. So the filters are pretty strict. So, but I manage it. I go in every if I'm running a giveaway like that, I'll go in like every hour and just check the comments. And if there's any that are like held for review, like I'm looking off the screen right now, there's one. And I'll approve all the valid ones and delete, obviously, the scam bots. So fret not. So here we go. Let's get back to this trading stuff because that might be what you're here for. Now we're getting a push down to the low. My main concern is the 10 years are not really pushing their low. So not really seeing like confirmation, like not everything. And off the screen, the 30 years are kind of in between. They're like 3/4 of the way down. But we're watching. These guys are pulling some orders. These guys are piling on. If we get a break low, you usually get like a nice little snap as well. I really like break lows and break highs because, we might get like 3 ticks out of it just like from the current low. So if we're able to get in at a price, like say here's what I'm eyeballing. If we start seeing the movement down, we can get in somewhere here and break down, get 4 or 5 ticks. I'm going to trade a 5 lot. Now we didn't jump in on that. I'm obviously glad we didn't because it moved against us. Or would have moved against us. That's where, so context is important, but also if I was to use another C word, it'd be correlation. There's usually a lot of correlation between the treasuries market. So when one gets out of line, if the other two aren't really doing the same thing, I wasn't like 100% trusting that this thing was going to go flying down when the other markets, and again, you can only see one of them, but have the other one off the screen here, wasn't really indicating that it was getting ready to break the low. What time we at? 9:17. We got a little bit of time before the US market opens. What else can we talk about, guys? I'm trying to think of any other questions, requests, etc. you guys have. I know I get a lot of requests for the live streaming. I will, I think I mentioned already earlier, I'll try to do a live stream later this week. Speaking of live streams, here we go. I know what we can do. Actually, hang on. Before we do that, let me just watch here. It's getting a little rowdy. Gotta like the rowdy. I will say, when I enter the trade, one thing, so you'll see me enter the trade, and it's just all clicks on the DOM. That's one thing I really don't explain, but depending on where you click, Jigsaw knows what you want to do. I won't go through it all this second, but yeah, so like if I enter a trade and then I put in let's say I go short and then I click over here, a buy order, but it's below the price, Jigsaw figures out, okay, that's like a take profit. If I put a click up here, it's like, okay, that's a stop loss. Like it's smart enough to know, depending on where your trade is and what direction you're going, what you want to do. Let's go back to the live streaming thing real quick, since it doesn't seem, just kind of hanging out here. Little plug for the Mighty Ox. Let's take a look at what Mighty Ox. I know he's live streaming right now, actually. Mighty Ox Trading. Yep, live right now. Well, I'm not signed in, so I can't make any smart aleck remarks. But if you like the live streaming, and I don't know, you won't be able to hear this. Let me see if I can turn it on. It doesn't really matter. So I use Ninja Mobile Trader, which is basically a remote desktop. Yeah, whatever, screw it. I'm having trouble getting the audio to enable, but you get the point. So if you want to hang out with Ox, he trades basically every single, I can't keep track of his schedule. I ask him once a week probably when he's streaming next, or basically he streams, here we go, 5 days a week. Well, he trades 5 days a week. He's funded with Earn to Trade. He trades Monday to Friday, 7:30 to 11 a.m. on YouTube, and then on ShareVision, which is a newer kind of platform. It's been around a few months, or he's been on a few months, I should say. He trades in the evenings, Sunday to Thursday. Wow, a lot of streaming. So, and he trades a variety of products. So I know not everybody is a fan of my treasury trading ways. If you enjoy watching, NQ and ES and crude oil and corn, and he trades the Ultra Bond once in a while, etc. And you can come in and chat with him. If the audio is on, you'd be able to hear him talking. He's talking about what he's looking at, what he's doing. He interacts with the chat. So he does a far better job of live streaming than me. I would say I do no job at live streaming. He does a fantastic job. So check out Mighty Ox. I'll put a link down below to that as well. Yeah, it's not as fun when you can't listen in, quite honestly. But nonetheless, you get the idea. Let's go back to our little charts there. See, we didn't get our little break low. If we'd gone low here and we're stubborn, man, we would get ripped apart. So, there's a saying that I like. It's always good to have a few little sayings or acronyms or whatever you want, but saying I like is you're either right or you're right out. So if you get in a trade, you should have an expectation of what you want it to do. And if you're right, it does that. If you're wrong, get right out. Get right out of the trade. Like, don't stick around and say, oh, well, maybe it'll bounce back my way and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. That is sometimes it will. And you'll feel like, okay, I was right there. Well, guess what? A lot of times it won't. So, and you can get ripped apart. Just a little bit of wisdom. Again, share what I can. I mean, you can do what you like, trade how you like. But it will save you a lot of money in the long run if you really limit your downside by getting right out and just eating a small loss. You can always get back in if it does start to do what you thought it was going to do. And you know what? That's just how trading is. Not everyone is going to be a winner. So interesting enough, right now we've got the 10 years kind of, making their way up to the high. What time we at? 9:22. UB hanging out right here in the middle. 30 years, kind of doing the same as the 10 years, so I won't bother to put it on the screen. I know, guys, if you're hanging in there for a trade, don't worry, or you can look down at the timestamps. See, it's getting a little frisky now. See, now it's dangerous territory because people are kind of reacting to the equities, kind of pre-market, pre-open. So, how do I say this? The kind of skill set or tools or context, all that stuff that I like to use, crystal ball, somewhat doesn't apply here. Like, I could bring up an equities market, chart and blah blah, and try to figure out. It's not worth it. In my opinion, I would rather just wait and see how things kind of suss out and see if we get like an actual direction established. It's why I only take 0 to 5 trades a day. Again, you could be chasing this all over town. And I used to do that, and what would happen is some days you're profitable, some days you trade for 5 hours straight, and you end up nowhere because you get some winners, some losers, factor in commissions. Maybe you take a bigger loss than you should on a trade. Now you've got to make it back to even break even, and the hamster wheel continues. I would rather pick off fantastic setups, get my win rate up, get my average winning trade up, and just sit here and chat and look at the screen, look at numbers, move up and down. It's far more relaxing than constantly chasing trades. So 10 years, getting ready to... So this is an interesting setup. I wish I had a way to pause this, but this is live. These guys are getting ready to bounce this up. So if they can, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Ultra Bond crack up here. So I am very much contemplating going long here. Again, I know I just said it's dangerous territory, all that, but if we can see some more buying pressure over here, because I could see this leading to a nice winner on the Ultra Bond, if it plays out how I'm thinking. Real interesting dynamic here with these guys like right up pushing this high. But see, there's not a lot of activity. Like they're just kind of frozen right now. Nobody's doing anything. You're seeing numbers change, but actual contracts traded is right here. I mean, or you could look at the ticker tape. We're also getting close to that open. 6 minutes away. Okay, guys, I'm going to try to get in here because I think we've got a lot of upside potential here. Hopefully I get filled at this price. If I don't, and I didn't, I'll see it go. I just missed that one. Normally I'm not a fan of chasing the trades, but I really think, okay, there I got filled. We have the opportunity to get ourselves up here and get several ticks. Maybe. We'll see. So we also have 5 minutes till the open. So I'm going to set an emergency stop down here. 4 ticks is generous, I know, but when you get these like frantic times, sometimes, it'll bounce around. Last thing I want is like bounce around, take it out. Like if I'd said stop there out, I might get stopped out anyways. I'm really hoping we catch this run up. Or there might not be a run up, and we just eat the loss on this one. Yeah, see, it's not working in our favor. I'm contemplating just getting out at this price. I'm also eyeballing what's happening over here. Like all of a sudden you had some sellers come in, but these guys haven't pushed it down yet. But we got 4 minutes till the open. I think people are just still trying to figure out what they want to do. 4 tick loss is definitely more than my average or what I would like, of course, but I would say this ranks a little bit on the higher risky side, although we're still hanging out up here at the top of the range on the 10 years, so I think we've got some opportunity. These guys can keep it here. Get a little break up here on the 10 years. The 30 years as well. Let me try and just move this over before anything happens. Here's the 30-year DOM, right up at its high as well. Back over. All right, we're hanging on, we're hanging on. I'm not ready to give up, but no, not looking good. Oh, and we got taken out. All right. Well, hey, we eat a 4-tick loser there. Not my finest trade, but that's okay. That is how trading goes. So the key right now is to not just jump in and start chasing it and being like, oh, we're going short. We're going short. Like, no, just wait. Trade is done. Nothing I can do about it. It's over. We eat a 4-tick loser. Not every trade is a winner. I mean, that goes without saying, but not every day is a winner. You kind of just get used to it. Sorry, guys. I'm reading my LeeLoo comments off on the other screen, just making sure all the good comments are approved, all the bad ones are deleted. So we got 2 minutes till the market opens. So we're still just hanging out here. Yeah, at this point, I think people are just really waiting to see what's happening with equities open. Equities obviously taking a beating the last few weeks. Crypto taking a beating. Now, if we get this push up, like I was originally thinking, I mean, there's nothing stopping me from re-entering. That's where the beauty of trading. You're allowed to do what you like. So it's 9:29. So I'll be curious to see what happens. If we get a spike one way or another. I'm actually going to do... No. I was going to do a Mighty Ox move. I don't know that we're going to get this much momentum. What he'll do is, like, before a news release, and it's very valid, strategy, say this was right before, like, the FOMC. He'll put a buy order, like, somewhere up here, a sell order down here. There's going to be a spike when the FOMC comes out. So whichever one it triggers, that's the trade. In Jigsaw, like for myself, I have it set. So if an order is filled, it clears out all other open orders. So if I had a buy order and a sell order and spiked one way and triggered one of them, the other one would disappear anyway. And then I would just manage the open trade. But that said, it's 9:30 now. Are we going to get our spike? We're seeing some frisky movement. Oh, guys, we're off to the races. But see, we didn't get any like wild spikes, at least not yet. But not like with a news, FOMC or something like that. Another one is crude oil inventory reports. If you want to see some spikes, look at crude during the inventories reports on Wednesdays typically. So that obviously didn't work out. I was wrong. I'm a big enough man to admit I was wrong. We didn't get that push up like I thought. Definitely a little bit out of sync, I would say here with just the 10 years kind of up here at their highs. If you've seen a lot of my other videos, a lot of times they are either in sync or not the bands, the treasuries, or if they're out of sync, you expect them to catch up. Hence the name of one of the trades I call the catch up. And we're not seeing it today. They're just kind of both off in their own adventures. So I said it would record for an hour. I think I started at 9. I forget already. So we'll go for another half hour, or if absolutely nothing is happening, guys, I will cut the video short. I'm not going to make you sit and suffer through a half hour of me just looking at a screen. If you're watching this video, you're hanging in there. Thank you, first of all. Second, be sure to hit subscribe and like and all that stuff. Third, if you have comments or questions, leave them down below. And if anything, that'll give me stuff to respond to in the next video. So if there's something you'd like me to explain while I'm sitting here with idle time, either about Jigsaw or trading or how I trade or whatever, trader valuation programs, software, etc. Yeah, bonds kind of boring today, I'm going to say. It's Monday morning. So 10 years over here working their way down. And you're seeing, so again, I can't pause it, unfortunately, but since it's live, you're seeing these dark inside columns. These are actual contracts traded. So it's just being marched down by the sellers. Now numbers are being wiped out because it's moving back against me. But there was like over 1,000 contracts here originally. So sellers are pushing this down. Let's take a quick look at the old Google. Oh, geez. Let's see what's Mighty Ox got going on here. How many people are chatting? I don't see it. It might be down here at the bottom. It's got 16 likes. If I was signed in on this computer, I'd give it a like myself. Oh, 32 watching. There we go. No. Oh, Burrell, look at this. Okay, guys, let's call out some names. Chocolate, fan favorite on the Earn to Trade Discord. I know he's a fun to trader with Earn to Trade. Burrell Investments, Big John Burrell. I'm going to show you something in a sec. Has a podcast called Just Swinging It. I was on it 2 weeks ago. We'll take a look at that. He is OG Earn to Trade Discord user. Was the one who brought me there about a year ago, honestly. I think it was May last year. Who else? I saw someone else in here that I recognized. Ace Trades, I know, is a big-time follower of the Mighty Ox. And then some names that I don't recognize. But nonetheless, guys, on my site, besides all the awesome deals and software and reviews and all that stuff, right here, hidden in the middle. 2 weeks ago, I did a podcast with John Burrell, the John Burrell, Just Swinging It podcast. Mentioned before, I'll mention it again. We had a fantastic time talking. You can listen to it for free on their site or whatever link this is. You can find it on anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the other podcast platforms I'm not familiar with. It's 2 hours long. We talk about all kinds of stuff. We talk about trader evaluation programs and deals. My favorite, his favorite, John Burrell, a funded trader with UProfit Trader. So we talk about those, what we like about the various programs. We talk about trading styles. We talk a bunch about crypto towards the end of the episode. It's like good friends hanging out. So if you want a little, and there's a few other others on there as well. Fat Baby Trading, I believe, is another. So there's basically 3 guys who are kind of the main guys on this podcast, if you will. Mainly the podcast, this one though, was just me and John chopping it up, talking futures and whatnot. Let's take a look here. Worthwhile listen if you got 2 hours, I think. All right, guys, let's see here. Let's bring up a chart. You guys like charts? So this is the 5-minute chart. So here's where the U.S. equities opened. And then, so this is where we were hanging out for a bit. I was hoping to get that push up, hanging out. Didn't quite get it. I forget exactly what price I was in at, but obviously ate it. I was probably in, where did I go long? That's a good question. It doesn't matter. Then we got that dump and took out my stop. But we've just been hanging out here. So it is honestly a pretty, I know this chart doesn't look great, but there's not a ton going on. Like the range, so here, let me zoom back in a bit. So the U.S. session opens at 8:20. So we've had a low of, 154.26. We've had a high up here of 155.20. So we've had almost a full dollar range. But in the last, hour less, well, yeah, let's say since 9, much tighter range. 27.13. Not much tighter, but tighter. It's just kind of hanging out here. We're not seeing as much. Picked the wrong day to record the trade, but damn it all, I'm putting this video up regardless. I want to see if we can capture one good trade in this hour long. But at the same time, not going to force it. I think I drove that clear earlier when I started recording. Not an action trader. Trade what I see. It is why I'm not a big user of indicators. I will stop short of, for the most part, of saying negative things about indicators. There's a somewhat notorious former pit trader, Gary Norton, who's also an order trader, depth market, order flow trader, who flat out hates indicators, thinks they're bogus, and is happy to tell everybody that. I don't take it to that extreme, but I will say this appeals to me much more. People often ask me, here's a good question, how do you learn this stuff? Well, one would be look at my site, look at the free course. I do my best job to explain it, but where I learned it was primarily from watching YouTube videos for free. So one, don't pay for any stupid course. Not that there's really a lot of paid courses out there. John Grady of No BS Day Trading. Actually, here, let's bring this up. If anything, if we're not going to take any trades, let me at least educate you guys on some stuff. Let's leave Ox up here. Let's, in case we want to revisit that. No BS Day Trading, who is John Grady. Now, he doesn't actually have a ton of videos on his site. And they're obviously very dated. Like, you can look at these 9 years ago. But honestly, the same concepts really apply. This is where I learned. So he does have paid courses. I didn't go through the whole thing, but I've seen them and they're good. So the basic feedback I've read online is that the beginner course is worthwhile. If you're new to Jigsaw, you're new to order flow, his basic course is worthwhile. And I think it's like $99 or something. It's on his site. The advanced course I've read is iffy. It's like more of the same. It gets a little bit more. I can't talk and do things at the same time, obviously. Basic course. It's kind of more of the same. Oh, look, it's $85. I think for $85, that's worth your while. The advanced course or immediate course, whatever you want to call it, $174. I mean, honestly, I was thinking it was more. Maybe he dropped the prices, but from what I've read, it's almost like less content than the basic course, and like it adds on to it, but not proportionally, if that makes sense. You're not going to learn a ton more in the intermediate course. You're better off starting with the basic and kind of mastering that stuff and doing your own take on it. Another area to look at would be Jigsaw's page. Jigsaw started by Peter Davies, who's still very heavily. They have tons of stuff on here worth going into. They have something called Trader Group Therapy, which they do once in a while. Go through this using market correlations. So this is a great place to learn a bunch of stuff. And then Axia Futures. And again, I'm talking if you want to go the free route, which is the route that I went, and I recommend. So they cover a lot of different trading stuff, like US stuff and equities, etc. Not just futures and not just order flow. But if you dig in here, I'm trying to see if I spot anything off the top of my head. Here you go. Order flow gets easier during volatility. Okay, well, that's a very specific video, but there is order flow stuff on their site is the point. So check those out if you want to learn order flow stuff. And what I would recommend is check them out, try to absorb it, and then just even do what we're doing right now. Sit and watch the market and start like thinking, okay, here's what I would expect to happen. And okay, that did happen. Great. Or that didn't happen. Okay, I was wrong with that. And, what would I have done? Now it's easy to, don't pat yourself on the back too hard if you do a bunch of like imaginary trades and think you're awesome at trading. Be honest with yourself, but just sit and watch. Just watch this. And yeah, it's boring. Start a YouTube channel and make videos and make everybody else watch it with you. That's my recommendation. No, in all seriousness, it just takes time. Futures trading is not easy. You won't get rich quick. Most people won't get rich. Most people either give up before they really give it time to turn the corner, or they're chasing stuff. Something doesn't work out. They try order flow. Oh, I don't get this. This doesn't work out. Let me go try trading MACD crossovers. Okay, that kind of works. Oh, now, and it works until it doesn't work, and then all of a sudden, okay, that sucks. So let me try using RSI. It's just, if you're constantly just jumping, trying to like chase the next best thing, blunt answer, you'll probably never succeed at it. You have to kind of master one realm of trading, I would say. would be my recommendation. It is why I focus on trading the Ultra Bond and like the Treasury market in general and not jumping around. I don't look at ES or NQ or whatever else, corn. Traded corn once, did pretty well. I should get back into corn. Not as exciting, though, as the Ultra Bond, I will say. So, guys, yeah, it is definitely not, like, the most exciting day to, just looking at my phone here. Got a little text message. Apex goes out of their way to send text messages. And occasionally you might even receive a phone call, automated phone call from the Daryl Martin of Apex Trader Funding saying, hey, we have a promo going on. I will give them that. They are ahead of the game on the marketing front, Apex, and in a good way. They're letting people know. Not everybody is, on, YouTube and checking out all the sites and the Discords and everything else. Sometimes people have jobs and whatnot. So, somebody might not be trading this week and they hop on Friday and realize they missed a sale. So good for them for putting the word out. But anyways, guys, let's get back to this, see if we can find any trade. We've just been bouncing around in here on the 10 years. We've been bouncing around in here on these Ultra Bonds. Now, are we going to get that push up that I was begging for earlier? I wasn't really begging for it, but I was hoping for. Well, these guys are pushing. All right, let's give this a shot here, guys. We're going to pop in. I'm just going to take the market. Risky business. No stop, no stop. Sometimes you almost feel like, I'm sure you guys have felt this way, it's almost like a magnet. You put a stop on and the price just comes right down to it. Look at this. Not going our way yet. These guys are at the top. The 30 years off the screen at the top. Come on, all it'll take. Here we go. I know, the exciting world of trading the treasuries. Will it move 2 or 3 ticks? I don't know. No, in all seriousness, these 10 years are trying to bust this up, and if they can get this bust up, you'll see, in theory, there's no such thing as always, but I would expect Ultra Bond will follow suit here. They can't be off on their own adventure for too long. 10 years off the screen at the top of their range, too. There are some sellers here, because what you're seeing is, so say, like here, you're seeing, again, I'm looking at the 10 years, seeing a lot of contracts trade, and sellers keep piling on. Right now it's cleared out. Okay, finally they're able to bust this up a little bit further. Look at this. I'm over here looking at this, not paying attention. We're already in the good on here. Yes, I know I ate a 625 loser earlier. Good time to put on a stop, just in case we get a rush back. See, this is the one. I'm going to take this off for a sec. You get on the Ultra Bond a little bit more flurry. You can get a flurry between 3 prices or something. Worst feeling is it flurries down, takes you out, and then goes and does what you want it to. So definitely dangerous territory, but here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the 10 years continuing to break their highs. Come on, here we go. A little excitement for you, a little excitement for you guys. Excitement for me and excitement for you. Now we could... Oh, here we go. Now we're talking... Now we're talking trading, guys. This is what you were waiting for. This is where the 45-minute mark pays off. Hopefully. So we got up to here. It touched up here, but no contracts traded. Now I could set a stop at 625, and if it hits it, we take it out, and guess what? We're break even, and we're just like, at worst, we're even for the day. I try not to think that way. Like, I'd be fine. If I have to eat a few $100 loss today, so be it. Because I know if I set it here, we already saw it bounce back down and back up. So there's still some opportunity up here. If anything, I'm going to clear myself out here and take... Oh, there we go. Now we're talking. Oh, come on, baby. I mean, 10 years still pushing, 30 years pushing. We're finally getting that rally we're looking for. So at this point, it's trade management. I know I still have no stop on. I'm being very not doing what I say I should do. I'm really hoping to see if we can squeeze a bit more juice out of this, but at the same time, we could take this and be ahead. See, they're still just pushing it up. Like, they back it up. Look at this. So you see these big block trades here. This is where the ticker tape comes in handy. They are just pounding it on the 10 years. So I don't want to cut myself short. This is where I say wait for good trades. And again, I'm not managing this trade so much in terms of P&L. I mean, yes, I have my P&L up. Yes, I'm very aware I took a 4-tick loss earlier. I would definitely not want to take any less than that so we can break even. But I'm also, there's opportunity here. There we go. Now we're getting some activity. Okay, this would be a fantastic time to lock in. I'm going to put a stop there. And then we'll manage our stop. Let me just do this off the screen. So now I can just click any price and it'll immediately move my stop. So I'm going to move it up there. See, now this is the push you're looking for. This is why we sat and talked and did nothing for 45 minutes or however long it's been. Every once in a while, these flurry of activities come. Now, am I going to get every single penny out of this trade? No. Like, I can't predict where the high is. This thing might continue all day up here. I'm not going to stick around that long. And yeah, this might flash right down and take me out, but guess what? It's a profitable trade. You just have to look at it trade by trade. See, we're still seeing the activity here and here. If we start seeing the pullback here, that's when we really start thinking, okay, maybe it's time to cut bait here. So I'm managing my stop, you might notice. I'm just clicking the price, I'm moving it up. I'm trying to stay like 3 to 4 ticks away from the current activity. I want to give it enough room to breathe, but I also don't want to give up. I mean, this is now like a decent amount of money. I would say money is relative to each person, but it's not every day you get, this is like, so we went from having no trades and taking that loser to, I would consider this a pretty phenomenal trade. Like a normal winner for me is 3 ticks, 4 ticks, Our patience paid off, and now we're getting this runaway train charging up. Now I'm eyeballing. Look at this flurry of activity. There's a lot happening. So guys, yeah. If anything, I think this last hour kind of was a perfect example of how treasury trading goes. You're going to sit and watch, and then you might take a trade and take a loss on it, and then you're going to sit and watch for a long time. And then, hey, maybe this trade would have been a loser too, but occasionally you get these spikes in activity, and this is where the money is made. It's not made in taking, 50 trades in a half an hour. Yeah, this definitely ranks on the phenomenal side of trades. Good grief. You might be thinking, why not scale in? Why not add more? Valid point. I honestly don't know how much gas this has left in the tank. I'm expecting at some point it's really going to pull back on itself. The faster it goes up, the faster it falls right back. But that said, this is a crazy trade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we've locked in 14 ticks, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This is like pushing a 20-tick winner if we get out right up here. Which is fantastic for the treasuries. Okay, see now I'm not, hands off. Didn't get taken out. I never want to start playing casino with it. So there would start to come back down. I don't want to start lowering my stop thinking, oh no, I better because a lot of times what will happen is it starts coming down. It's just going to continue down. So you're just reducing the amount of profit. I'd rather lock in this, move on to the next trade. Can always get back in. So guys, I think after this trade, there we go. We got taken out. Honestly, I didn't quite see. So my P&L says approximately 2030, but we'd lost 625 off the first trade, so we made about 1,400 on the last hour. I want to caution you. This was not normal. The 4-tick loser was a little bit aggressive on the losing side by maybe a tick or two. This low was definitely aggressive on the winning side. Like I said a few minutes ago, winning trades in the treasuries are usually not. And here, let me just bring up the chart. We can take a look at how that looked. There you go. So we basically have ridden out this spike here. And can bring up a 1 minute. Yeah, so we got basically the best of this somewhere, wherever we entered and exited. And now, so you're seeing that pullback. So I forget. I'm gonna have to go watch the video. I don't remember where we had our stop. I think it was right in here somewhere. Hey, this thing might just keep on going, and great if it does. Usually after a big trade like that, I like to step away, even though there might be a bit of opportunity here, and you're thinking, why not keep capitalizing on it? Reality is, your adrenaline's up, you get excited. You obviously probably heard me get pretty excited there when it really started taking off. This is where you can also get in trouble. You start chasing it, thinking now, I'm on top of the world. Let's just keep chasing this. Let's try to make some more money. And you can also think about, and this is actually bringing it back to the Just Swinging It podcast. One of the questions John Burrell had for me was, what's, I forget the exact framing of the question, but it's kind of like what's more dangerous, like having a big, or what's harder to walk away from, a big winning day or a big losing day. And yeah, this is where you can get in trouble because you think, well, I've got now a bunch of buffer I can work with. So, actually, you know what? I'm looking at my P&L off the screen, and I just realized something. I was completely wrong when I said. So my realized P&L is just over $2,000. That means that trade was a $2,600 winner, and we lost $600 on the earlier one. So we're actually up. We're up the $2,000. I was talking and thinking and not even thinking that. So up $2,000 on the day. Not too bad. We'll buy some nice penny candies. Yeah, what's harder to walk away from, a losing day or a winning day? I forget honestly what my exact answer was, but I believe it was a winning day because it's things like that. You start thinking, okay, now I've got $2,000 of profit I can play with, and even if I lost it all, I'd still have a break-even day. It's not the right way to think about it. And see, we are seeing that pullback now. So, just to try to wrap up in maybe the next 5 minutes, this is where reading the order flow comes in. When you start seeing the sellers, take control. So in that situation, buyers just riding this up, pushing. Eventually, you've run out of buyers. And the buyers who were in, like myself, start selling. And then, everybody's taking the profit. And it's just, riding the price back down. Not to say this isn't going to turn around and go right back up. It's only got two directions it can go, right? Up or down. But nonetheless, so to get to what I was originally going to say, I try not to jump in on trades right after I've had a big winner like that because your adrenaline's high. You think you're like top gun trader. You can do no wrong. And then what happens is, say I had tried to jump in on some trade here and I lost another 600 more. Well, then you start to feel like, well, I had 2,000 a few minutes ago. Now I have 600 less. I want to make that 600 back. And that's kind of the wrong mindset to have. So if anything, quite honestly, for myself at this point, I will probably call it a day once I stop recording. Not just because, for a few reasons. One, that was a phenomenal trade, and I'm willing to just lock it in, and, I've got other things to do with my day. I don't see trading as something where you have to try to squeeze every single penny and every single trade out of the market, lock in this great winning day, and consider it a win and move on. Now, I know that's probably not how most people do it. Most people are like, oh, if there's opportunity, you got to take it. Well, you do whatever the hell you like. That is what is fantastic about futures trading. There's a multitude of products you can trade. There is a multitude of software you can use. There's a multitude of, methodologies you can apply to the market. You do what you like to do. Guys, I don't think I have much else to say. My voice is starting to go. Still excited about the trade. That was a phenomenal winning trade, I will say. So it's both saying that in excitement. Like, I'm glad I got to record that and share that with you guys. Also, a word of warning. All trades are not like that. You don't just jump in and get to ride, a $2,600 winner offset by your $600 loser for $2,000 day. It just doesn't happen like that all the time. So that said, guys, let's bring up the sites one more time. You know where to go to learn about futures trading. You know where to go if you want to watch some streaming action. Check out Mighty Ox. I'm going to link all this stuff down in the video description. So link to Mighty Ox, link to John Burrell's podcast, link to Axia, Jigsaw, No BS, John Grady. And then, of course, don't forget Apex having that 80% off sale. You can't miss it if you go to my site. LeeLoo doing the 50% off sale just today. And then I have that LeeLoo giveaway on my YouTube channel, which you're watching this on anyway. So be sure to leave a comment on that video, and I'll do the drawing tomorrow afternoon. And I think that's it, guys. I wish you well on your trading adventures. Leave comments down below if you have anything in particular you'd like me to cover in these videos. Obviously, I'm working with whatever's happening at the time while I'm recording it. So, if your question is, can you explain or demonstrate whatever, some type of trade setup, but that trade setup isn't happening when I'm recording, it's not going to happen. But happy to do my best to answer your questions. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'll see you in the next video.